Rambo back with some Grand Tactician Civil War. So, in our last episode, the West Virginia militia under Winfield Scott crossed the Ohio here, right under the nose of our apparently sleeping gunboat, and came down here to Lexington, Kentucky, which cuts our rail link up to Covington. Still have the river for supply, but rail is better. So that couldn't be allowed to persist. So Ewell's Corps has come down from Covington to engage Scott, and Hill and Johnston are marching in support, although they're about a day away. When we get into the battle, I'm pretty sure Sidney Johnston will actually be there. The Army commander almost always is. However, I think you'll probably be doing well enough on his own before Hill arrives. Let's get in and see what we got going. This will be the second Battle of Lexington, I think. No, the last one in this area was Frankfort nearby. Way more combat happening near the Ohio River than anywhere else on the map. It's a pretty gruesome load screen there. I can't remember what battle that was taken from. I want to say Spotsylvania, but I'm not sure. It might have been Antietam. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. This always does the same thing. Where is our objective? It is way down here. Ugh, this terrain looks awful. It is just unbroken hills and woods. So it's way down here at Mitchellsburg, and it is an attacking situation for us. That's a Union objective. That does not look like great terrain over which to attack. Yeah, there's our Army commander. And here's Ewell's Corps. Okay. I am not seeing a great route to come here. And it's not really that I give a crap about the objective itself. It's just, this is where we know that the Federal Army is going to be. So if we want to fight them, here's where we got to come. And the nature of the terrain is such that pretty much whatever he does with breastworks and positioning, pretty much whatever he does, it's going to be a fairly decent defensive position. There's really no way around that. It's also not very... It's hard to see how artillery is going to be able to find much play in this. I just don't see that happening. So basically, I think it's just going to come down to just... We don't even have bridges. Well, we only have to cross one ford, really. But we're going to have some creeks to deal with. Really, all I can see is just kind of march the army down to somewhere right in this area, near the Ray house. and then we'll deploy in line through here, and then we'll just slowly move forward through the woods. We'll have to do it slowly, little bits and pieces at a time, so that we don't just completely trash our cohesion and such. And then it's just going to be infantry firefighting here. And it's going to be a little messy. I will win, but it's very possible in these conditions that we'll get a brigade or two that just gets isolated somehow and gets torn up pretty bad. I'm sure Yiel's got at least one, maybe two cav. We'll send him out ahead just to scout out and see where the enemy position is in here. Sometimes they're actually a surprising distance away from the objective, so we'll see. It's hilly everywhere, but it is a little bit more open, at least over here, if that just happens to be where he sets up. We'll send the cav out and see. So I gotta set my guys up, get them marching, get the cav out, and I will be back when we've got a better idea of where Billy Yank is waiting for us. Okay, so the cav has gotten up here, or down here. We're looking at the map upside down, and here they are at Mitchellsburg, pretty much where expected, right on the objective. And they're kind of lined up this way and oriented facing this direction over here, which is reasonable enough. If you're going to sit on the objective, this Mitchellsburg Road right through here along Buck Creek is the natural way to come into the objective. So, okay. So I think and the Army has gotten this far. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a division here, a division here, and a division here, and kind of advance in these along these ridges in between the creeks, like so, and hopefully get in here and tear up his right flank a good bit as we begin combat. I don't really see what to do with the artillery. Best I can come up with, and I'm not saying it's... Well, I didn't look at this side just a sec. Yeah. That looks a little exposed. I was thinking maybe I could bring the artillery around this way via Parksville, bring them along this way, and maybe they can find a position somewhere on this high ground on what little open. It doesn't look very good, but it looks about the best I can come up with. So maybe Artie will find a few shots here, maybe not. But a lot more marching to do, so I will be back. Okay, it is 1:30 in the afternoon on September 3rd, which is still day one of this battle. We've got the corps up, and the divisions are mostly in place. Artillery is almost gotten around here and are coming up to a position in the federal rear. Hopefully this cavalry is enough to kind of help them out if things go squirrely on them. Right as we got up in here, the Federals, it looks like they caught sight of our brigades, and they're starting to, they've just gone into column and are about to start moving. And we're just about at a point where we're going to begin this advance through this awful forest, and this is primarily going to be an infantry fight in the woods. So here we go. Actually, with all this marching, our brigades are in decent shape for cohesion and fatigue. Good, well rested, intact, well rested. And a lot of these brigades by now, they've got the Iron Discipline perk, which helps a lot with that sort of thing. I chose, and I've used other perks in the past in different campaigns, but I've kind of gone with Iron Discipline as my standard infantry perk for this campaign for a couple of reasons. Number one, for situations like this, so that we can do things like move through terrain with less ill effect, and also because it's one of the easiest perks to level up. It's leveled up by engaging in ranged combat. That's it. Just shoot stuff. Whereas pretty much all the other perks are somewhat situational. You know, Ace of Spades, you level it up if you're in cover. If you're not in cover, you're not leveling it up. Sharpshooter, long range only ranged combat. And so I figured Iron Discipline's probably one that is most likely to reach level 3 faster. And when you get up to tier 3 in Iron Discipline, the cohesion regain rate is very high. It's doubled. And so I think that's pretty useful, and maybe we'll get some elite brigades before the end of the campaign that way. We'll see. Okay. And yep. The way I play, I'm going to put skirmishers out to lead the... Well, one thing I'm going to do is, before I do anything else, let's give all the infantry freaking go to long range and stay there orders. I used to do this religiously, and I have gotten out of the habit. During my last campaign, I started experimenting with, well, let's just let the brigade commanders pick their own range, see how they do. And for a little while I kind of convinced myself that they didn't do that bad a job of it. Well, they do. So I'm trying to get back in my habit, like most players of this game do, of putting all the infantry and giving them specific long range orders. We'll wait for the orders to actually get there before we do anything else. Now, this order delay, this is pretty interesting. There's two phases to it. The first phase is whoever's issuing the order, whether it's the Army, Corps, or Division Commander. First, they have to formulate the order, right? You know, write the little order on a piece of paper. Then the courier sets out to go carry that. There we go. Okay. It turns out, and I didn't know this until fairly recently. It's been a while, but it's the first time I've really mentioned it. Earlier in this campaign, actually. The divisional HQ can only do one set of orders at a time. So I had time paused, and I gave orders first to Deering, then to Fry, then to Koch. Ewell's staff only they do those in series, not in parallel. Even though technically I did all three orders at the same time because time was paused. So first they had to write the order for Deering. Then the courier goes out. Then they're writing the order for Fry. Then the courier goes out. Then they're writing the order for Koch. So if you give divisional orders that way, they'll go in sequence, in series. If I understand correctly, and I may not, but if I had issued that order from Johnston, that's one set. And then the courier goes to Ewell, and if I understand correctly, it works a little differently. It would go to Ewell, and then it would go simultaneously to all three divisions, because they're not waiting for that order generation at Ewell's level, right? The orders just go right to the next courier, and off they go. So it may have been a little faster to give that order via Johnson instead of Ewell. I'm not sure of that. Okay, now I'm going to put my skirms out because that's just what I like to do. Sometimes I get taken for task for that in comments. Whatever. Okay, maybe I overuse them, but skirmishers are pretty good. And I've talked about skirms before, but I haven't done it recently. When they engage, the overall losses on both sides, like if a skirm engages a brigade, eventually they are going to lose. But it's a small number of men. And even though the losses are fairly small, the skirms may lose a couple dozen men, and then the brigade that's their target isn't going to lose that many men, but the casualty exchange ratio is more in favor of the skirms. And then when they break and go back, we can just send out another one. And it's possible to fight an entire battle without your brigades ever getting directly engaged. And the skirms, over time, it takes them a long time because there's not that many of them, but over time, they can pile up a whopping casualty ratio. If you're using, if the AI lets you, if they don't attack into your main position and they let you cycle those skirms over and over and over again, they can pile up a whopping casualty ratio over time. Matter of fact, I may try to do that here. I know a lot of people that watch this channel also watch Worms and Warriors, and he had a recent battle where just a day or two ago, one of his most recent episodes, where I think he got like a 17-to-1 casualty ratio, and none of his brigades were ever engaged themselves. It was just skirms with Mississippi rifles, just tore them up. Took a long time, but it works. Okay, so now I'm just going to move these two divisions up far enough where their skirms should start engaging this brigade here. That should be more than plenty right there. I don't like that because this edge brigade's a little bit too close to that creek and might actually pick up some terrain effect. That's better. Let's do that. Advance is fine. Advance is fine. I don't know if this other division over here is actually... I don't like that spot. Let's get more like this. This division over here, Koch's division, may not get heavily engaged. He's just kind of be here. He's kind of there to see what opportunity brings. It's kind of same for the Cav. Okay, I think the artillery's still a little too far away where I don't think they're going to get shots if they unlimber. I don't remember exactly what... James rifles, yeah. Which really aren't all that long ranged. Well, let's just see what happens if they unlimber. We can unlimber them again, or limber them up again. They may actually... They may be able to hit right up in here. Or not. Doesn't look like it. Let's just put them on top of this hill. Be about... No, not on that creek. Damn it. More like that. See if you can see anything from there. There's not room for more than one battalion up here, I think. I don't think Sims needs his scouts anymore. Neither does some other Cav. Wood doesn't either. Pickets ought to be engaging pretty much any time now. Somebody's shooting. I'm hoping it's us. Nope, it's not us. His artillery is finding shots somewhere. Over here. Yeah, there's a little bit of open ground that these... You know what, though? If they can shoot into there, maybe Shoop can shoot through here. Let's bring... Well, if he's going to get a shot at all, it's going to be right down through here. So let's bring Shoop's battery. Battalion. About like so. He's attached at the moment. I didn't want them moving with the infantry, but he's with Koch's division. I just left Ferguson over here. It didn't seem any good place to bring him over here. Well, skirms. Okay. Now, let's advance. Let's bring Yule up a little bit. Yeah, this battery can't see jack squat. Well, he just nah. Damn it. It looks like they would have to get up in here before they'd be able to, and that just looks awfully exposed. I'll wait until Fry's division gets further up in here before I move artillery up any further. Rhodes? What you doing, buddy? Did I just give that order to a brigade? I think I must have. Strange. That's not good. He's going to march up there. Yeah, I just gave that order to a brigade. Oops. Okay. Well, no. Screw it. I'll get them sorted out once Rhodes actually gets up here. Well, their cohesion's doing pretty good moving through those woods. I think all three of these brigades have the perk. He's iron discipline, iron discipline, iron discipline. And these brigades are getting fairly close to opening their perk slot. Well, they're just staying in column. That seems a little strange. Looks like they were wanting to move, but those brigades are not. Just go ahead and get them to engage. Springfields. Oh, and one picket of Mississippi's. Move you up a little bit more. I mean, they're in woods too, so all of these brigades do have cover. Okay. Koch, on his own initiative, decided to go into line. Didn't stay with that other formation. Let's go ahead and ease these battalions over to... Oh, that looks terrible. Not a very far distance. Who's actually taking the fire? Apparently nobody. Okay. Kind of seeing an opportunity for maybe the Cav to sneak his way up here onto this ridge against that artillery. Let's bring Butler on up over here. Butler and Wood. And then I'll dismount him, put him into loose order, kind of come over here and engage this artillery over here. And then as he starts doing that, we'll bring Koch's division in through this way. Yeah, their losses are mounting. And apparently none of our skirms are taking return fire. Notice that even though they hold the objective, if this battle ended right now, it would be a minor victory for us. And Winfield Scott would have to retreat back to Ohio. taken 12 casualties, and I think that was because, oh yeah, Shoop's finding some targets. And I think that's because Shoop's been taking some fire from artillery over here. Someone in comments was asking me to periodically comment on what these little situation things are all about. So Shoop's battalion, he's taking a little bit of a morale debuff because he is, quote, cut off from his commander. And that's because this unit is detached. His commander's actually right here. So even though he's got the detached debuff, he's also got a morale buff for being close to his commander. The reason he's detached is because when this division moves, I don't want the artillery to move with it. I want him to stay here. The 2nd Brigade has taken 200 casualties from all of our skirmishing fire. And as far as I can tell, none of our skirms have taken any casualties in return. Yeah, he's not even firing back. Because he's staying in column. What is that about? Come on. I don't know. Are these guys finding shots from here? No. Should be. These guys are in their... I don't know. Okay, so maybe they technically can't see them because the actual icons are just outside their cone. But what they can do so we'll just go the bombardment route. There you go. Get cracking. Yeah, that guy can't even see to there. Let's just bring it back down here. Sorry I made you load the guns up to the top of that little hill. Come on back down. 300 casualties. Okay. Dismount. This order. I don't see that the artillery is doing shit over here. I just told you to fire at an area. Why can't you do that? It looks like it's within your vision. Ah, goodness. Shoop's still banging away over here. Don't really see what he's firing. I guess he's firing at these guys. $450 casualties on this brigade. Okay. Sheffield. I don't know which one of these guys Sheffield. They're probably all getting low on ammo. Brown, Clark, Jackson, Sheffield. Reloaded. Get back to it. $500 to 22. We're in September now, so it's going to get dark at 2000. About 2 hours left of this. Go ahead and advance this division right up into him. Finish off this guy. Don't want that. Let's go. Well, kind of got to look at the terrain here, I guess. There's a little kind of a ravine down through here. I think it's better for Fry's division to do that. See if you can do anything from there. There they go. All right, Cav. See what you can do back here.
Move you a little bit this way, make sure Coke stays within his command radius. Okay, at least that battalion is firing. At least they're kind of forming into line now. Is done. Let's move Jackson over here. Clark, over like so. Trying to give him room for Brown to squeeze in. Cav should be engaging this artillery over here pretty soon. One hopes. Slow going. In the woods. Okay. Oh, this Cav is wavering. Prize division properly engaged. Okay, kind of working on this artillery up in here now. Good deal. Okay, that artillery's done. Did they just go out of vision, or did they just get wrecked? I think they just went out of vision. You guys saw me give that long-range order there, everybody. Look at that crap. Move him up behind the screen of his skirmishers. Cavalry. Is that other artillery over there? Okay. We are real close. They might withdraw overnight. Let's see. They're not quite to the end of the oh my gosh. 3,000 to 156. Yeah, they withdrew. Okay, 3,400 to 162. A part of that was it was a patient plan, and we let the skirmisher casualties mount up. You know, kind of work the cavalry around on the side. But a big piece of that was those units just kind of went into column like they were going to move, and then didn't move and stayed in column while getting shot at. Eventually they went into line, but it took them forever, so I don't know what to say about it. A lot of those casualties were done by skirms, and when skirms are detached, they do count as separate units. I think we'll find that our actual infantry brigades really didn't do that much. Let's just see how the breakdown looks. Yeah, Hill's Corps never entered the field, so they're all zeros, naturally. Oh, we took a few prisoners. Fry's division did the majority of the casualty infliction, coming in from the left. And those, I think those were the only brigades that actually engaged themselves, as opposed to their pickets. Whereas in Deering's division, now because those skirmishers got folded back into the brigades before time expired, I think the brigades got the credit for those kills. But if those skirmishers had still been out at the end of the battle, they would be listed as separate units here, and they would be the ones showing the casualties inflicted, not the parent brigades. There you have it. Second Battle of Lexington. And I've lost my advanced time button down. This happens sometimes. And there's really nothing for it but to save and reload. At any rate, that will do for this episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, Thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.